Zanite! Hey, how are you? Hopefully you can hear me. I have my mic on, so. How are you doing? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Just doing some studio work today, and I thought it would be nice to share it with you all. So, hello. You just woke up. Well, good morning. Happy time zone to you. Make sure you get your lifeblood. Yes, we're at the ironing of the scale stage on panel 1. And let me tell you, I am very, very excited to get to this point. Yeah, make sure you get your lifeblood. I have mine here. My cat dad mug that my sister sent me for Christmas. Yeah, I gotta show ya. So this is what the fabric, oops, sorry, microphone, looks like before smocking and everything. This one is lined. I do need to like re-stick some of this. It didn't really fully iron down, but it's huge. These panels are ginormo. And the smocking essentially halves the fabric. So this will get put down into a very small square. But yeah, that's what we're working on today, is ironing the scales. If I have energy after ironing these, I might actually start marking out the other fabric. So yeah, what I'm doing today, so kind of get you a little bit of an orientation here. You can kind of see how this fabric looks without being ironed. It's very nubbly, and I want to play with that texture in a future project. But this is not that project. And here we go. So what I'm doing is kind of on a diagonal. I'm folding these pleats or these smocking textures into the scales in a diagonal form because it's just easier that way. So I'm going to keep going up at a diagonal. I'm about 1/8 of the way done. I started this last night, but I was tired, so I didn't continue. So yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and vibe and be chill. I don't have any music going, but you can put on your own music if you want. And I'm using a double-pointed knitting needle to hold down the pleat initially as I iron, because my fingies will get in the way. So true, bug. So true. Speaking of anyone who's watching now or watching later, I do still have some textiles in my shop that are handmade by me. So if you would like to support your local artisan, you may do so at www.benjamincollin.com/shop. Self promo is so real. Oh, I didn't light a candle today. I should. I should light a candle. Let's get stamina potion out. Let's do that. La 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 la. Where are you, stamina potion? Oh, right in front of me. Yes, not sponsored, but oh no. um, always trim your wicks, folks. I just pinch them off, set it aside, and then hopefully I can get in here. I cannot. Okay. That's why I have long matches, y'all. The box is open from both ends. Wow, this is going super well. Listen, Emmy and I have been best friends for about 21 years now. And we're both queer. So it shouldn't shock you that our seating positions are about the same. Okay, we're back. We have a candle, we have coffee, we have fabric, we have friends. So I'm also using my knitting needle here to create a nice crisp point and to adjust the pleats and hold them down. Well, I hope you got some good rest, Zanite. Oh my god, yes. Yes, it would. But all I have is this big honkin' one. I mean, to be honest, one of those, like an old-fashioned iron that has like a tiny little footprint would also be ideal for this situation. But alas, I don't have that. Hi, Rowan. Are you gonna hop up here? I don't think you need to, bud. You don't usually like it when I iron. Anytime I bring the ironing board out, he freaks out. I don't know if it's just because it's like the sound that it makes when I'm unfolding it is, kind of offensive, but it's like, dude, literally never has this attacked you. So, yeah, unfortunately, I will say, as long as this last portion of this part of the project, as long as it's taking, the next episode of this series is not going to come out for a while. So I wanted to hop in here. So yeah, yes, Xana, you're thinking of the same exact thing that I am, I believe. It's like I don't know if it's for tailoring or what, but if I had one of those, woo, I'd be unstoppable. Also, because this is technically a plant fiber, I am using the cotton/linen setting on my iron. Will say some of these folds are not as clean as I would like them to be, but I think I might be able to fix that once everything is in place and I can adjust a little bit better. But here we are. Ooh. Seeing the steam catch the morning light over here. I guess it's afternoon now, but I get great light in this apartment. I have a southern facing window, technically a southern facing apartment. Chonky boo blue. I hereby dub thee Chonky Blue. No, Chonky Boo Blue. Oh, Chonky Boy Blue. Yes. Like Little Boy Blue, but Chonky Boy Blue. I see. I get it. Chonky Boy Blue. Mm. Oh, something I should mention too. So, on my sample, let me. I don't know if you did that on purpose or not, but I like it. Um, so my sample smocking here, these scales are 3/4 of an inch um, diagonally, if that makes sense. So if you look at it like this, they're kind of squares. They're 3/4 of an inch square. The way that I did this fabric, just to make it easier on myself, is these are inch wide. 3/4 of an inch just is a little too tight and a little too difficult to get accurate as far as like measuring it out. So also it would be like dozens more scales to iron and smock. And frankly, I just didn't want to. um, but additionally, I think it's allowing the drape of the fabric to be a little bit smoother than this. This has got a lot of stiffness and rigidity to it. It also has a canvas backing, which does change it. This one has a satin backing. So the more you know. Bro, and I swear to God, you're not going to like it when you get up here. You keep looking at me. You can go sit in your cat tree, okay? Yeah. I wish you guys could see Rowan's face. He just heard the hissing of the iron and just looked at me like, what the heck? Dad, why? It's like, exactly, bud. Poor Rowan, my foot. He's a spoiled little baby. He spent most of the morning asleep on my bed. Yeah, especially Rowan. Rowan can be an extreme drama queen. It's like, bud, you need to chill. Out of love. I say it out of love. But he has a cushy life, I may say. Ooh, I should also mention good news. My channel is very close to 7,800 subscribers. So we are getting close to that next milestone of 8,000. I'd love to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. So in 12 months. Um, current projections say that that's kind of a long shot, but I've been a lot more consistent over the last year. So maybe we'll get there this year. Whew! Oh, this feels so good. I just like petting it. Oh, something else that I should mention is I'm working to make sure that the grain of the fabric and the pattern matches the direction of the scale, or vice versa. The direction of the scale matches directionality of the fabric. Mhm. Also, if you hear Discord going off in the background, last night at the campaign at work, Uncharted Lands, um, we had another player character death last night, and it was one of the players that's kind of been an OG, and the Discord has been popping off, so to speak. So it's another high-profile player character death. Hey, I'm assuming this is. Well, I won't out you, but hi, it's good to see you. Oh, hi, Josh. You can out yourself. How are you doing, bud? No, it's all good. You're allowed to. I just didn't want to do that to you if you wanted to remain anonymous. Popping in between meetings. Nice. Well, thank you for popping in. We're just having a chill sewing, well, I guess ironing time. The very first time I did this technique was 5 years ago now. And I am really like proud of how far I've come with working on this technique and perfecting it. Well, perfecting, not yet, but definitely improving upon. I sure hope things are going better at work. Good. Good. Gosh. Chunky boy blues. So true. Yeah, I bet. I bet. Oh my gosh. You got this though. You're so good at what you do. You're gonna get this. Also, I apologize. If your lovely wife was a little brain dead after our conversation about gardening yesterday, I gave her a ton, a ton of information. Good. I hope you have fun. I miss having a garden. When I lived in Colorado, we had our townhome or our condo, whatever you want to call it. Um, we had I would say it was like a 5 foot by 6 foot plot, and we got a lot of good stuff out of there. And that was with a growing season that's like not as long as the Los Angeles growing season. Because here we're in zone 9, and I think Colorado is zone 6, zone 7 or zone 6. Oh no. Okay. Whew. Scary. My fusible interfacing fused to my ironing board there for a second. Yeah, those kind of planters are great, especially for what you're doing. So, this is kind of when I wish I had 3 arms, 3 hands, 4 arms maybe even. Hold one thing down, iron with the other, drink coffee with another. Yeah, Carrie was saying that it was, like vermicompost, or vermiposting, which is actually really efficient, and you can put most of your food scraps in there. Again, no meat. You can do eggshells, that's actually really good, but, like, coffee grounds, any vegetable scraps, newspaper even. but not the glossy kind. Um, that stuff doesn't break down very well. Also, hello to everyone out there who's lurking. Welcome on in. I'm hoping that you can enjoy this nice chill studio stream. There will be more of these coming up. I kind of took most of January off. Just to it's one of the busiest times at work from like September to early February. So it's one of those things where it's like I needed to focus on a few things. Not to mention there's some things going on in my personal life that are also taking priority. Um, that I was just like, we gotta take care of ourselves before I make content for others. That whole put on your own oxygen mask. But I know a lot of people have a hard time at the beginning of the year getting into new routines, getting back into the swing of things after the holidays, and in general, winter is still going strong in a lot of places, at least in the northern hemisphere. So I know that affects a lot of people's moods. I definitely went through probably about a 6-week long depressive phase, so that was fun. Uh, but luckily, I have bounced out of that, it seems. Of course, my medication always helps. But it's okay to just take things easy, you know? Our best changes from day to day, hour by hour. So it's just one of those things that you do you at your speed, whatever that is for you at any given moment. Aw, I love you all too. Mostly, I'm excited to get this portion of the project done because after I get these panels done and the sleeves done, then I can move on to the surface design of this jacket. And I'm going to be doing some techniques that I've never tried before. So, um, two of them I can kind of talk about. One of them is called bobbin lace. It's a very old technique that was used primarily in Europe, both Western and Eastern Europe. There's different traditions of it depending on where you are. And also something called uh, uh, punto in aria, also known, I think this is a misnomer, but in some of my research, it's also known as reticella. which is punto in aria is basically like needlepoint in the air, like you're doing lace in the air, um, which is technically not true, but also is true at the same time. I'll go into more detail about it later, but those techniques were very popular in Southern Europe. Um, so yeah, some bobbin lace in the gauntlet. What is their CR? Very high, but I think I'm at the right character level to accomplish it. Yeah, punto in aria and reticella is really interesting. It's a fascinating technique. You create like these ground figures by winding yarn around, or thread, I should say, around like foundation stitches. And then from there, you almost do like weaving and crochet and other type of needlepoint or needle lace um, in the groundwork, and it's just fascinating, and it's really free form and organic. So, because this jacket is heavily inspired by organic shapes and forms, I feel like punto in aria is going to be way easier and more fitting for what I want to get out of the motifs that I'm going to put on this jacket. But bobbin lace is really good to create very structured looking pieces. So the trim and other parts on the jacket, I think I'm going to use bobbin links for. So I'm excited. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. And of course, I want to hear something funny. You know me. Tell me something funny, bug. Something that makes me laugh. I said, legally distinct. Thank you, Facebook. Or not Facebook. Ooh. Lasagna with roasted red peppers and okay. Um, I may have to ban you now because now I'm hungry and I haven't had lunch yet. So I made some, I mean, it was prepackaged, but I made some risotto last night with porcini mushrooms in it, and it was really freaking delicious. Yeah, please ban yourself. Oh, she's in Florence. God, I haven't been to Italy in so long. And by so long, I mean like 5 years. I adore Italy. I've been to Milan. I spent a very brief moment in Verona, but that was just a from the train no, from the bus to the train. Um, and then we took the train from Verona to Milan, spent a few days or a couple days in Milan where I had some of the best pizza I've ever had in my life and way too much red wine. They just like bring out a jug of table wine, and it's like, okay, yes, this is a challenge. um, and then I spent a week in Sicily. My ex is an opera singer, so I should um, put that in context. And we used to do quite a bit of traveling for her. Um, and this was when I had a job that I actually had like expendable income. Um, So I was able to go with her on a couple of trips. And the one to Sicily, while wasn't great personally, not to go into too much detail, but um, I will say there was some really delicious pasta that I had over there, and just great culture in Sicily. Hot, hot as heck. But I would love to go to Rome. I'd love to spend some time in Florence and in Venice, um, and maybe make a jaunt across the Med to Greece. I would love to do that too. So, well, I've never been to Japan. I had an opportunity to go in high school, but it was around the time that my grandpa was not doing super hot, so I stayed home to be with family, and I kind of regret that a little bit. Yeah, I highly recommend Italy, Josh. It's amazing. And each place is so different. You know, like Italy was not Italy for most of its existence. Um, so it was just a bunch of familial regions, I guess. Um, and so there's very distinct culture and food culture in each location. And it's freaking great. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I took Asian art history in college, and while the professor was not great, um, the class was interesting, and I found so many of the traditions and histories really beautiful, and I'd love to go and see some of that stuff in person. Ooh, love that. Anthony Everett. And I do love ancient history. If I had more time in college and I hadn't gotten my first degree, I probably would have double majored in art history. I took 2 architecture courses and the Asian art history, regular art history, um, like art history 101 basically, but I really like going further in depth with cultures, especially because a lot of art history is so Western centric, and they just like gloss over all other cultures, and it's like, okay, let's get this straight. A lot of these other cultures have had an art practice for way longer than Western Europe, so oh, cool. That sounds like a great way to learn. Mm. Okay, some of these scales are really taking to this pleating really well, and it's just giving me life. Economics, political science, and military history and music. Nice. Some bio. Yeah, mine was all pretty much biology until middle of my junior year when I was almost done with school. I should have graduated the next semester. The first semester of my senior year is technically when I should have graduated. And I was like, you know what? I'm here, might as well double major in art. I was doing a lot of photography at the time. I had initially thought that I wanted to be a National Geographic photographer. So it just kind of worked hand in hand. But most of my biology was ecology, field biology, and specifically plant ecology, which is why I love gardening. I've got a real love for plants, yo. Right. Is it weird that I want to make another one of these suits in black with like a shiny dragon scale on the shoulders? Just want to do it all. I just want to do it all. Yes, YouTube University. The number of rabbit holes I've gone down on YouTube to learn stuff is just huge. Like ceramics. I never got to do ceramics in college, but I love watching ceramics YouTubers. And one of them um, is one of the channels I like is called Pottery to the People, and it's an expat living in Germany, and her work is just so beautiful and rustic, but not rustic in a way that makes you go like, "Ooh, that's chunky and ugly." It's like rustic in such a raw, visceral way, and I love that. Yeah, with a good wool suiting material or cotton suiting material, I could get really crisp pleats without dealing with backing it, essentially. And yes, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's also a lot more of these AI generated videos that like all of the visuals are AI generated, and I think the voiceovers might be too. I'm not entirely sure, but it's like, do you have fact checkers going over these videos? Probably not. But that's why I usually try to vet the YouTube channels that I watch to be like, are you giving me real information or are you just bullshitting me? But a lot of these practical skills and stuff, you're not getting bad information. So, yeah, I don't like them either. And I think, I don't know, this is the danger of AI. I think AI is good for a lot of things, but not for art and not for information. Pattern detection, yes. That kind of stuff, sure. But like, leave the creative work to the creative people. Just saying. Not to mention, those videos just look weird. Like they go into uncanny valley and it's a little freaky to be honest. TBH. You know what AI can't do? This. Yeah, ideation I think is cool. As long as you're using it in an ethical way and you're not using it trained on stolen work. But I definitely think ideation, like if I trained some AI on my work and on my illustrations, it could help me iterate things without me having to iterate it over and over and over again, which I think is really fascinating and really cool. But I don't think that's how most AI is being used right now. So, ooh, also, I don't know when this is going to happen, but I had a lovely phone call slash interview with somebody last week um, about hyperbolic crochet and um, how it can model the some mathematical equations and mathematical thought that you can't really do in any other medium. So I believe this person is making a video. This is their very first video on YouTube. Um, so when that goes live, I'll share it with you all. I'll let you know because it's stuff that I'm really fascinated with and haven't been able to explore as much as I want to. Um, but it just reminded me like crochet is one of those techniques that you can't actually replicate using a machine. Like you can do machine knitting, you can do machine weaving, but there's no way to actually crochet by machine. You can do chain stitch. That's easy. But actual crochet, you can't do by machine. So we had a really great conversation about that, and I'm really, really excited for that to come out. It felt kind of cool to be like reached out to for comment and as like a little interview. This person is doing really great. Uh, what is the word? Research. Woof. My brain. This person is doing great research, so I'm excited. And I believe I'll be exploring that further again. I have 3 videos on my YouTube channel now on hyperbolic crochet and its uses and its explorations. But I think I'm going to do more because I barely have scratched the surface on it. So, but yeah, this person is using it in a very like fascinating way and in a way that I hadn't explored. So it was fun to see something new to me in a skill and in a topic that I'm very familiar with. You know, that's something that's so exciting to me is when I get to learn something new about something that I'm pretty good at. Not to be like cocky or egotistical or anything, but it's really refreshing that that happens. So I can't stop petting this. More coffee. Mm-mm-mm. Also, look at this. The body of this is all done. Look at this liner. All it's waiting on now is sleeves. And the sleeves are waiting for this fabric. They have to remember to stretch. Ooh. Ugh. Yeah, I might do some like when I'm done, I want to, I think, buttonhole stitch or whip stitch around each of the points to keep them flat. So, where's your redemption points? I know we're on YouTube. I know I haven't streamed on Twitch, but I just find I've been enjoying the YouTube streams. I don't know about you all, but I find them chill, like chiller, more chill, and I'm less worried about the quality of the video for some reason. Um, the Twitch streaming from your phone is not great. And I find the YouTube streaming from your phone super good. And I find like those videos automatically get put up onto my YouTube channel, which is from a functional standpoint better for me because it keeps people on my channel for longer. But also like there's not a paywall behind the user being able to download videos onto that platform, which I prefer. The fact that you have to have like a certain level to keep your VODs from going away is just not it for me. Um, Eventually, once I get to a certain level of watch time on my channel, which I'm slowly getting there. I used to be monetized here back in the day. Um, But once I get to a certain watch hours, I think I'm just over half the way there. There's things called super thanks and super chat, where if people do want to like tip and stuff, they can. Um, and I don't expect that from people. I think education should be primarily free, but also it's nice that for people who can afford it, to pay creators for their knowledge and for their work. Um, I've been doing this particular job for over, I think, almost 15 years now. And I've been putting out so much free content over the last 15 years that it's like, yeah, I think having people able to do a kickback to me would be great. So I look forward to that day. I'd love to make this more of my career, to be honest. I'd like to be able to pay my bills with this. But especially with projects that take me as long as this kind does, which is what I'm drawn to, it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to produce these videos and produce the actual work that I'm doing. I'm self-taught in all this video editing software. I'm self-taught in all the audio editing software. And that takes my time. Woo, hot. I'm not trying to be like any pity party or anything, by the way. I'm just trying to be transparent and honest. I think it's important for creators to be more honest about their work than a lot of people are. There's this, I think, this notion that we have to keep our struggles hidden as creators and only put forward a like positive attitude. which I am positive about it, but I think it actually does a disservice to the community and to the expectations of content creators. Um, there's been a lot of YouTuber burnout lately, and a lot of YouTubers who've been doing this for, again, 14, 15 years, ever since the dawn of YouTube. And they're burning out because I think audiences have an unrealistic view, an unrealistic expectation of how much work goes into good content creation. And I don't mean like prank channels or and those do take some work too, but there's a certain level of skill that goes into creating videos on a consistent schedule. And the algorithm is so punishing that if you don't put out content on a very consistent basis, you'll get swallowed up by the people that do. So, hey, Cinegirl. Howdy. Welcome on in. Um, yeah, I get it. I get it, Josh. Oh, you're shady. Oh, that's hilarious. Hi. Cinegirl. Love it. How are you? I hope I didn't make your brains explode yesterday. Yeah, I bet you did. It has all the hallmarks of an old username, and I love it. Kids these days just don't understand. Also, can we just talk about how curly my hair is today? I'm freaking in love with it right now. Well, I'm sorry your afternoon plans were a bust, but I'm glad that you can go get soil today. So, thank you guys. This is the Leo in me going, pay attention to my mane. Just an absolute uh unabashed call for compliments. You know, I think I can like my own video. Yeah. Rawr. I'm such a freaking Leo. It's not even funny. Mm, 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 mm. I love coffee. Yeah, it is. It's beautiful today. I'm having dinner with Emmy and Scott tonight, and I'm looking forward to the walkover. Not only that, because I'm also going to be playing Pikmin Bloom, which is my new obsession. It's a walking app, also from Nintendo or Niantic or whoever you want to call the makers of Pokemon Go. But it's like right up my alley. You just grow these cute little seeds that turn into weird little guys. And you know me, I love a weird little guy. But how are you? How are you, Shady? I know, I'm really bad with leaving a comment and pinning it. I don't know why. I really should. So funny. I used to do this for a living, marketing and shit. And then for myself, I'm like, I don't need to. And then I wonder, why isn't my channel growing faster? What's going on? I went through my website the other day and did a bunch of SEO work that I hadn't done. And oh man, if I could just say like how much it felt like pulling teeth to do it for my own stuff, I was like, I don't wanna. Yeah. Algorithms. Everyone has a break tonight from all of the puns. That last episode, woo, that was quadruple trouble. And I try to be good with puns, but in that group, woof, that was that was hard to behave, I gotta say. Yeah, because for sure, I will say it's Josh and Jeff are the worst offenders, and then RJ, and then me, like that was intense. It was fun. It was a great episode. Very, very fun episode. But also that pun jar filled up quick. Quick. Okay, here's the thing though. Scott pretends to not do puns, and so do you. So do you. And then you pop some out and pretend like you don't. I see you both. I think the only person who is truly innocent is Z. I think she very rarely makes puns on accident or on purpose. And I think it's just because of living with Jeff, to be honest. For me, it's all dependent on who I'm playing with or how saucy I'm feeling. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm also more prone to making them on accident, but sometimes there are some that just like fall into your lap and it's like, I can make a pun about this. And it's funny. I think it's actually funny. Oh my god, so true. Well, especially it feels like the tone of the campaign is getting a little bit more serious too. So I think that helps us stay in that zone. But I'm also glad that we can still have a little bit of levity too, like a real proper D&D show. So yeah, I feel like ambassadors and diplomats and politicians and ministers uh, probably aren't always receptive to a good pun, especially depending on the topic of conversation. Ooh, my belly is like, feed me. And it's like, buddy, we're streaming, so you gotta hold on just for a little bit, okay? Because all of my snacks that I have are fairly crunchy, and anybody who has misophonia, I don't want to do that to you. And it's harder to take a break on YouTube. Ah, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, earthquake. Speaking of, there was an earthquake during Melos Machina this week. Not a big one, like, I didn't feel it, but I looked up and my mic was wobbling. Um, and I was like, "Well, who bumped the table?" And I remembered that the mics are not mounted on the table. They're mounted to the ceiling. And then I was like, "Oh, maybe there's just upstairs neighbors." There's no upstairs neighbors. Um, so I was like, "Oh, shoot." And then we went on break and RJ was like, "Oh, there was a small earthquake." It was like not very big at all. Um, and I was like, "Oh, well, that makes sense." I thought I was going absolutely bonkers, but nah, I wasn't. I saw it. I saw it happening. No, I did not iron my camera. I kicked it with my foot because I can't sit down like a normal person. Cheers to all of my coffee drinkers out there. Well, to anybody who's having a good time. Whatever beverage you have in your cup today. Ooh, we're almost halfway there. 5 more diagonal rows and then we're halfway done. So, whew, man, there's so many scales. Been doing this for what? How many? Over an hour, and I've gotten like this much done. That's not a lot. It's fine. It's worth it. I don't know why I just went full Kardashian. Oh no. Not hand sewing. Not smocking. Oh my god. Chloe, what are you doing over there? What are you sewing? Yum. I just get my clothing from Givenchy. Is that a good impression? Did I do a good job? I may need to go get more water for my iron in just a second. Yum. They are kind of annoying. They're like the epitome of Hollywood elite. Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and I'm not gonna start now. I'm just not. It's unnecessary in my life. I'm busy watching the Great Pottery Throwdown on YouTube. That's how I spend my time. I'm hand sewing dragon scales. All right. Well, Josh, thank you for stopping by. Enjoy your meetings. I hope they go well. I appreciate you hanging out with us today. And thank you. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. Oh, come on. Yeah, if y'all aren't watching The Great Pottery Throwdown, I highly recommend it. They're currently on season 7, and this group of potters is like they're really talented. They're really, really talented. Um, and it's such a wholesome, beautiful show full of creative individuals, and frankly, we need more of that in the world. Yeah, I need more water. I'll be right back. You'll hear me because my mic is. Oh, actually, I could take my mic off. I'll be right back. Chair stream. Seriously. And yes, I use my plant watering can as my iron pourer because it has a nice spigot. I find those little cups that they usually send with your iron to be insufficient. It's like you have to fill it up over and over and over again. And it's like, no. Professional sewists, like really professional sewists that do it a lot, um, some of them have like a gravity fed iron and they just have like a jug of water attached to a big hose that's attached to their giant iron. There we go. There's that steam. That's what we need. I will say I may need to grab a quick snack because my tummy keeps rumbling. But let's do a few more scales before I do that. Yeah, I'll post in my wow. I'll post in my Discord a link to the Great Pottery Throwdown because at least season 7 is currently airing and the episodes are free on YouTube, which I am all about. But if you enjoy ceramics and British people, like genuinely cute, sweet British people, not the monarchy, um, then I recommend the show. It's one of my favorite comfort shows, and it's really inspirational. I'll also put in Pottery to the People because she's freaking amazing. She's freaking dope. And sometimes she actually follows along with the challenges of the Great Pottery Throwdown. She's not eligible because she is not in or from the UK. So, no comment. Uh-oh, did I say something silly? Oh. I think I know what you mean. No comment about the monarchy. No, comment away. We're all friends here. And also, I hear controversy is actually really good on YouTube. People can yell at me in the comments after this is done airing. Like, how could you? I'll be like, sorry. I don't idolize colonizers. Mhm. Well, listen, you seem cool though. Hot steam coming through. Surprise. Surprise. That's it, you're banned again. I am just kidding. No, you are seriously one of the nicest and coolest and most down to earth people. So, I ain't worried. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do with you. I don't know where it's 2 times in 1 stream. Ugh, just sounds like you're making it a habit now. Yeah, you're such a rebel. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I definitely think I need to do some just like some security stitching around the points of these. I also think it would just add a little bit of definition, some shading even. Yes, a steampunk rebel rouser. Rabble, 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 rabble. Luckily, I have a sample piece, a swatch, if you will, that I can practice that technique on before doing it on the final fabric. This is why we swatch, people. Always swatch. Practice your techniques. I think there are times for experimentation, but it could, Xanite, because this is not a plastic, right? Although technically the liner is a synthetic satin, so it would keep its pleat. But in general, because this is a plant fiber on the outside, it won't keep the pleat. Um, the fusible interfacing helps it keep that shape, but yes, it could revert into chaos if I'm not careful. Luckily, this shouldn't ever get wet or washed. This will definitely be a dry clean only sort of piece. I mean, I could wet it, obviously. Like I could soak it. As long as I don't agitate it, it should be fine. But this is not one that I would want to throw in the washing machine ever. Especially because that outside fabric is 100% wool. And even though it's technically superwash wool, you can still felt superwash wool if you wash it enough times. And it just degrades in general. Washing machines are not gentle. Do not go gentle into that dark night. Ooh, I love these scales. Yummy, yummy, yummy. They're so pretty. This is such a fulfilling project because each step there's like a little bit of a payoff. It's like, ooh, yes. By the way, I will have some offcuts of some of this fabric. And I was thinking about creating wall hangings, like wall art pieces, using this fabric and the leftover fabric from the actual suit itself. Is that something that people would be interested in? Like some textile art? I don't know. I think I might do it. You know, it's almost like a scrapbook, I guess, but like art. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad that you're enjoying this project. I was nervous to start it because I knew that it would take a long time. But this is the kind of project I enjoy. Trying to do those like really quick and dirty videos, they can be fun, but honestly, like this is the stuff that really gets my blood going. These big kind of like couture pieces. Well, of course, Xanite. Um, I don't need an answer right this instant, or ever technically, but uh, would that be even an interesting project to see how I would do it? Yeah, I don't mean to like put anybody on the spot asking a question like that. Okay. I'm not really concerned about the edges because those are going to get cut off. So this is kind of the silly thing is that about half of this panel isn't even going to be used because I'm using basically the inside portion of it. But look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Not done? Done. Not done? Done. And then this is the back side if people want to see. Ooh. Yeah, the shimmer is like actually catching the light. So this is who wants some fabric and textile science time, huh? This shimmer is because it is flat and the light is hitting it and bouncing off a flat plane. Because this is textured here, um, the light bounces into it and then it gets caught by the other fabric, so it doesn't look as shiny. That's why things like satin stitch in embroidery works because all the threads are going the same direction. And in doing so, the way the light hits it, it can bounce off at a proper angle. When you have multiple threads at different angles, you'll get some shine in certain areas, but in general, the way that the light hits it, it'll refract more, well, not really refract, but it'll reflect in a non-linear way, so it won't be as shiny. Mm, mm, mm. And that's your textile science tip of the day. Mm, I love this fabric. I love it. I am here. I am present. You can hardly see my work now. Here, let me bend this down. You can see less of my face, but now you can see more of the fabric, which is the interesting thing. You can see more of the techniques I'm using. Yeah, today's episode brought to you by science. I can't help it, you know? It's my background. Science nerd. I will say the steam feels really good on my face. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a cleansing facial every time the steam hits my pores. I'm like, "Ooh, maybe I should do a face mask today." Bring some over for dinner. Not for dinner, but, to Emmy and Scott's, and we can just have, like, a self-care night. Yeah, craft and facial. It's freaking great. You know, it was so quiet in my neighborhood an hour ago, and now everyone is out and about and doing things. Is that so, Chonky Boy Blue? Why are you whining? What I really should be doing is also using a clapper with this, but I don't really have one handy. Where is my giant flat iron? Not my anvil. And yes, I do have a miniature anvil, because of course I do. Let's see. I don't think it's in any of these drawers. Really, all I need, well, is a block of wood. And I've got one right here. No, I'm with you there, Xanite. Some of them I'm like, shut up. Especially when it's like really loud, stupid music. And I'm like, you don't need to be that loud. Or even worse, when a car rips past. And I live in a very residential street. Like there's a couple of sort of businesses down the road from me, like down the street from me, but like the streets here where I live are very skinny. And there are quite a number of children that live in my neighborhood. Um, and I would like it if they would not get hit by a car. So, here we go. I really need to find that big metal chunk, but I don't know where it is right now. So the purpose of using a clapper is it helps cool the fabric quicker, which helps set the pleat or the fold, whatever terminology you want to use. So using a little heat sink helps. Wood is good because it releases the heat fairly quickly, whereas metal just kind of keeps absorbing it. Yeah, I've thought about looking into conservatorship or conservation work. Um, that might be something that I do later on in my life and in my career. It just seems really fulfilling and interesting to me. We're at the zone of this fabric where I sewed two pieces together, so there's a little bit of a thicker seam here. It's making the folds just a little bit more fussy. But luckily, it's a fairly invisible seam. There's a little bit of distortion, but honestly, not bad. I mean, Shady, the skills that you have could easily transfer over to like documentary work or other humanitarian work, bringing to light, like everything is needed in the fight for sustainability and environmentalism. It's all connected. Not to mention, the film industry has its fair share of issues when it comes to environmentalism, especially in the costumes department. Yeah, there's so much waste. And I'm just over here like, excuse me. There's a place I'd like to check out eventually. I think it's in Pasadena, and it's called Remainders. And it's got like just a lot of like unused stuff or excess materials. And apparently they have a very large fabric section, and you can get like yards of fabric for very, very cheap. And it helps keep that fabric out of landfills, which I'm here for. I don't usually buy new fabric. I either make it or get it secondhand. No, it's a lot of stuff apparently. I'll look it up and send you a link, Carrie. Yeah, I had just recently heard about it from another sewing YouTuber here, uh, who lives somewhere near LA. She used to live in LA, but now is in one of the outskirt cities that I don't know about. Because even though I've lived here for almost exactly 4 years, uh, yes, field trip for sure. Um, I'm still learning like where all the different neighborhoods are and cities, and I'm like, I don't know. Like I thought Van Nuys, which is fairly close to me, um, was like southeast of me, but it's northwest of me. And I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that. Listen, Los Angeles is a huge place, and it's always changing. I think I might finish out this row and then end the stream so I can have some lunch. Because it's almost a 2-hour stream. And I'm trying to keep YouTube streams a little bit shorter than I used to do on Twitch. Mostly so if people do want to catch up or watch, they don't have to sit through like 3, 4, or 5 hours of me doing stuff. So, and if you have stuck around with me this long, thank you. I appreciate you. You can support me here by subscribing, hitting the thumbs up button. You can also visit my website at benjamincollin.com. I have a Patreon that I'm trying to do a little bit more on there, but I have no patrons. So I feel like there's no reason to post yet. I've been posting some things, but you know, that's extra work. So I do have a Patreon. And what else? You can visit my socials. I'm at Benjamin Krudwig on like everything. I post lots of photos on the Instagrams, especially works in progress. Yeah, works in project. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So true, Shady. And I feel like there's new suburbs like getting named all the time. And it's like, where is that? Like Eagles Landing. You're like, what? That could be one. I don't know. I learned that there's an eagle crest, and I was like, that was the name of a local elementary school where I lived in Colorado. I didn't realize that there was a Newport Beach in California because was fairly certain there was a Newport Beach on the East Coast, but didn't know that there was a Newport Beach in California. Great tide pools there. Went last Monday. Yeah, yeah, it's in about Orange County. Some friends from work, we went down and did some tide pool looking over at Crystal Cove Beach, which is really, really cute. It was my first time at a tide pool and my first time seeing sea anemones in the wild and hermit crabs in the wild, and my very first time seeing a Spanish shawl sea slug. It was a very inspiring trip. I've got lots and lots of ideas from that trip. Yeah, nature is so cool, so inspirational. Well, I love that I'm using my hand instead of the clapper. That's safe. It's just a little hot. I have a high pain tolerance. It's fine. Don't do that at home, kids. Use proper heat safety techniques. Do as I say, not as I do. The favorite phrase of adults everywhere. Okay, let's. Exactly. Listen, I played viola for many years, and I didn't have fingertips, like fingerprints, for a long time. And then I started knitting and weaving and sewing, and now I have lots of calluses. So, all right. Oops, sorry, microphone. Um, Here we are. We're just about halfway done with this panel of fabric. Very sexy. Look at that texture. Look at it. Ooh. So, hi. Oh, also, look. So, A, that's my loom behind me, but my mom sent me some prints of some ravens, although I think those are technically crows. Nope, they're ravens. I had to look at their beaks for a second. Um, Also, sorry if you're. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Um, I don't know when I'll be live next, but just keep an eye out. I'll try to do some next week. Um, I am off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, so I might do a couple of streams next week on this channel. Um, I don't know what it'll be. I'm hoping to get this panel all done and cut out and sleeves made, or at least one sleeve made so I can get it on the jacket. And then after that, it's doing the button placket, it's doing the collar, and then I get to move on to all the surface design, all of the lace work, all of the embroidery work that I might be doing. So yeah, I'm super, super excited. So I'll let you know. I'll post it in my Discord when I'm going live, if I'm going live. And then I will also keep you up to date as to when videos come out. I might have to break this one up in two parts. So finishing the jacket and then moving on to the surface design portion of the project. So thank you all so much for watching. This has been an absolute delight. You all are so nice and kind and wonderful. And keep an eye out in my Discord for all of the links that I said I was going to put in there. You all take care. I am gonna go finish my coffee and get some lunch. And yeah, I love you all. Mwah. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Again, if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button or hit the like button. I want to get this channel up to 10,000 by the end of the year. So I think we can do, what is that, 2,200 subscribers in 11 months. I don't know what that breaks down into because I don't want to do math right now. So, anyways, bye, y'all. Let's remember how to end this. How do I end this? Right here. No, over here. No, right here.